It's the first episode of the NASCAR Games where we take NASCAR up on Olympic-style challenges. And today's episode is Hendrick Motorsports versus Joe Gibbs Racing doing long jump challenge, where they will launch off a ramp and see who can go the furthest against each other, as 8 drivers, 4 drivers on each team, will go head-to-head in this challenge. Up first, the number 5, Kyle Larson, your 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. What are the rules? Well, if you crash before taking off the ramp, if you can get your car stopped before you launch, you can go for a second attempt. If you do not land inside the track, you will be disqualified. Can Kyle Larson hit those 2 rules in their first go of NASCAR long jump here in the NASCAR Games? Let's see. He gets up to over 190 miles per hour. He's going to nearly hit 200. He launches through the sky over 300 meters, and he immediately shows exactly what you cannot do. That is a disqualification. His car did not land in the track when it hit first contact. It hit outside in the catch fence. And you'll see slow-mo right here. It's not going to matter how far he got, because the point of contact is not on the track surface. It's in the catch fence. Vicious crash for the number 5 of Kyle Larson. Expecting to see the first couple of guys struggle in this first edition of the NASCAR Games. Going on board with the number 5. Watch how violent this one is. The front end of this car ripped right off the front of the HendrickCars.com machine. Kyle Larson first up, and unfortunately, a disqualification for the number 5. Next up, Joe Gibbs Racing, Denny Hamlin in that progressive number 11. Hamlin, of course, no Cup Series championships to his resume, but closing in on 60 wins of his Cup Series career. Can he add a long jump champion to the list of accolades here following today's first episode of the NASCAR Games? Let's find out. Hamlin's going to take off here now and head down the ramp. Here he goes through first, in now into second gear. And we saw what Larson did. He got up to just under 200 miles per hour. That takeoff speed is going to be absolutely crucial for everybody here now. As Hamlin, he slips, he slides, he's crashed before he's even hit the ramp as he heads down the hill. Can he get it stopped before he heads off the ramp? No, he cannot. This will count. Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. That's about 48 meters for Denny Hamlin. But because of Kyle Larson's disqualification, that's enough to put him at the top of the board. But we know that will be beaten pretty easily by, hopefully, Alex Bowman, who's second in line here for the Hendrick Motorsports Group now, and all he has to do is not crash on the way down, and he'll put himself ahead of Denny Hamlin, who takes the top spot at 48 meters. Alex Bowman, your Chicago Street Course winner from 2024. Can you repeat that? In 2025. Let's see what he's got here now as he gets up through the gears now, heading down the elevation. And now he's just got to do what the 11 hasn't done. I mean, Hamlin showed you what you don't want to do. Larson showed you what you can't do. What can Bowman do? He's now slipping and sliding. Are you kidding me? Bowman's crashing as well. Can he get this thing wound up? He's spinning around, which gives him a way better opportunity to slow the car down. And it's close. And a little bump saves him right there. Something went wrong with the bottom of the car, and that's his saving grace. He gets a second go. He did not take off the ramp. He goes for it again. What can Bowman do in a now fresh Ally Financial throwback car there to Jimmy Johnson, as he knows, of course, the mistake he just made. Now he'll head down this long straight towards that ramp one more time, and he's learned what he needs to do differently, and he's executed it to perfection. A lot less speed than Kyle Larson had. Let's see what it is going to be. Just over 300 meters, but clearly takes the lead. Big impact there into the barrier, and all the fire and smoke pouring out of that 48 Ally Financial Camaro. And you see it's going to be just past 310. It was 314 to be exact. Bowman now takes the top spot at 314 meters on board with this Ally number 48 now. And it's quite violent for a pretty calm wreck compared to what we might see throughout the rest of this episode. Alex Bowman to the top. And next up, We head back to Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing, new driver for the 19 this season, Chase Briscoe replacing the retired Martin Truex Jr. Now a bit of a moment. Looks like he kind of second guessed what he wanted to do, but he gets back going nonetheless. We saw what Larson did, 199 mile an hour takeoff speed. Bowman was about 189, 10 mile an hour difference. What is Briscoe going to be? Slips, he slides. It's going to be 183, slower than the 48, but can he manage to launch further? Absolutely not even to 300 meters. By far the slowest or shortest of the drivers that have managed to take off properly, is now quite short of Alex Bowman's number at 314. Briscoe just past the 290, hits 293 as he heads down towards the barrier, and fortunately for him, a pretty cautious, relaxed crash that didn't hurt too much. We'll now head back into the Hendrick Motorsports camp. Chase Elliott, fan favorite 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion, just finally got back to victory lane at Atlanta Motor Speedway last week for the first time in over a year. What can that Napa Auto Parts number 9 do? It seems like now we're starting to get into a rhythm. Drivers are kind of figuring out what it's going to take to be successful in this challenge. And I mean, that's just don't crash on your way down to start. And of course, a really high top speed when you hit the exit of the ramp. Here we go at Chase Elliott, looking strong right off the bat. Well over 189. I thought he would hit over 190, but matches Bowman, hits the sign on the way down, tears the back half of the chassis right off the car. We'll have to wait on the official number right there, but that 9 car absolutely destroyed here in NASCAR Games Episode 1 Long Jump. Elliott, look at the sign, hits it just over 310. It was actually 315. He takes the lead and beats his teammate Alex Bowman by 1 meter, as they, of course, had the same takeoff speed. Not surprising to see such a close difference now. Christopher Bell made the Final Four a few times, has certainly been, or one time I guess he's made the Final Four, is certainly a championship contender, and he's just crashed the car before he's even started heading downhill. So fortunately for him, you'll get a second opportunity. That's going to be an embarrassing one for the number 20 DeWalt team. Now they get back going. Christopher Bell, attempt number 2. Can he complete this one successfully? We've seen some struggles from drivers, I mean, this entire time, of course. I mean, both Hendrick drivers and, of course, Joe Gibbs drivers now, as here we go. We've seen that top end speed be about 189, while Bell is up to 194. This has to be the top one of the day. It's close, but Bell, I mean, huge impact there on the barrier. He's going to fly into the grandstand, thank God. There's no fans here for safety purposes now. That was a massive crash right there. Fire pouring out of the back front end. Torn off just like the 5 car had, of course. We'll get a closer look. It's close between the 48 and the 9, but he beats them. He hits 317 was the official number Christopher Bell was able to reach right there. So he takes the lead now by 2 meters over Chase Elliott. How about that? It's close between the top 3. Next up, it's your final Hendrick Motorsports driver, William Byron. 2 drivers remain, Byron and then Ty Gibbs here to come just after this number 24, who's all over the road. He's gonna kind of keep it straight and hold on. What a recovery from that Exalta Chevrolet. What can Byron do on the way down now? Can he eclipse over 190? Yes, he can. Top speed of the successful drivers for sure. 196. That might be the top of the board. Huge crash as it goes past the barriers out of the racetrack, just like the 20, but way further into the trees, nearly into the ocean goes that 24. And I believe we have a new driver at the top of the board here. That 24 of William Byron, 310, 320, 331 meters for the 24. Not even close. He is able to breeze through past his competitors there. I don't think you're going to match that. 14 meters ahead of second. And it all comes down to Ty Gibbs to go on board with that 24 of William Byron. What a ride this is right here. I mean, goodness gracious, all over the place. Tumbling, hitting trees, you name it, but I mean, it was worth it. The 24 goes to the top of the board. Next up, and finally, it's Ty Gibbs in the 54. He's had a miserable season in the IRL Cup Series, now his third full-time season of NASCAR competition, winning the first episode of the NASCAR Games. Well, I mean, maybe it would bring some peace of mind to the 54 team here now as Ty Gibbs is going to take off, and we'll see what he can do now as he's got a big number to match of Byron's 331. As we saw, Byron had the highest takeoff speed. That wasn't Kyle Larson, of course. Larson had the highest takeoff speed of anybody, but of course got disqualified. Now, can Gibbs top 196? It looks like it's going to be close. 198. This has to be the run, you would think. Now, can he beat the 24? It's close. I don't think he got it, though, as he smashes head on into the barrier, and the number to beat is 331 meters, and it was certainly close. Gibbs, at the bare minimum, is going to be second. He had a bit higher takeoff speed. Here it is, 310, 320. It's close, not enough. It's 329 for Ty Gibbs, meaning William Byron hangs on by 2 meters there over the 54. But Gibbs comes up P2 on board with Gibbs here on his run. And it felt like a lot of the Toyotas had fairly smooth accidents here outside of the 20, of course, of Christopher Bell. But William Byron is your NASCAR Games Episode 1 winner in the NASCAR Games Long Jump Challenge. And one more look at his final ride here, now hitting 331 meters. What a drive from the 24 Exalta Chevrolet. As you see the finale, the final leaderboard on your screen, Byron and Gibbs, your top two by a large margin over third of Christopher Bell, who was so close with Elliott and Bowman there, of course, at 315, 314. Briscoe comes up short at 293, Hamlin down at only 48, and Kyle Larson, of course, with the disqualification. That was super fun. I had a blast recording this and making this very different style video, and I hope you guys receive it well, and let me know what your thoughts are, what I should maybe do differently, what I could do better, etc. And if you would, of course, like to see more of the NASCAR Games, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do with this format. Nonetheless, that does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.